Good morning and Happy New Year to you guys. I did Vlogmas for the first time and it was quite a learning experience. I can tell that when things get busy at home, I don't vlog or I don't even edit. Like, I focus more on what's going on at the moment. So I learned that I should be a little more multitasking. But also we had family over for those last 2 weeks and I just stopped vlogging because I wanted to be with my family. I had vlogged, I think, one of the weeks. I was editing it and everything, but family left like the 1st, I think, of January, so a couple of days ago, and I just thought it was kind of pointless to upload that last section of the Vlogmas in January. I think you're supposed to end Vlogmas the 25th anyway. I didn't finish editing those. I thought I'll just archive them. Also, it's January, it's a new month, a new year, and I just want to start off doing something for this month, I guess. And I thought I'd show you guys what all the illustrations I've done in 2017. So this video is going to be a wrap-up of 2017's art. So I hope you like. I don't think they're going to be in chronological order, and it's not all the drawings I've done, but I kept some of them in this folder. So let's start with this one. With this one, I just wanted to practice my inking skills and line weight. So I did this pencil sketch first and then drew over it with ink. I think I have the digital format of that one on my Instagram, and I'll have that linked in the description below. So here's another one. So I had a sketch of this one in one of my sketchbooks, and I took reference from that, and then I did this larger drawing. And on this one, it's deleter paper, and it takes Copic marker very well, so it was very fun to work with, because what the deleter paper does is it really lets you do very nice gradients and very easily. It's kind of a thin piece of paper and it's very smooth, but I really like it for the Copic markers. It's very good. And for inks too. There's this one, and I mean, I was going with that same thing with the long flowing hair. I think this is a little too high up, but I really enjoyed making this one, and I really like drawing people, so I want to get into more of like full figure drawings and, you know, full finished illustrations. And I also want to like have more detail in it. Kind of like right here in her face there's detail, but then like you see her hands and stuff, there's not as much. So I like to work on detail and also backgrounds. So that's kind of a goal for me in 2018. And I think I did these around, well, during the summer. And there's this one too. Like, this one kind of has a background, but then when I wasn't sure about drawing a sky. Also, a lot of my Copic markers, I don't have refills for them, so I'm afraid to use them. So I didn't do the sky, but I think it looks fine this way. And in this one, I kind of did the background, just Copics and a couple of drawings with some ink pens. And then the girl has, you know, like an ink outline, and then the Copic colors. So this was definitely in the summer. I was really into like gardening and flowers and all that, so I was very inspired by that. And this illustration was very fun because I did work on some details. Her jewelry, her hair, the little like scale patterns on her face and shoulders. And this one is interesting because I was working with hot press watercolor paper, which has a smooth surface, so the watercolor doesn't really like stick on right away. it has nothing to grip onto, so I kind of had to learn how to work with it. It was a little frustrating at the beginning, but then you get more of these nice textures. On the skin it's not very ideal, but it was fun to work with, and I think I'll use it more in the future. I do like a smooth surface, but for watercolor, it's just a little tricky. It's trickier to work with, but I think with more practice I'll be able to get nicer, cleaner illustrations. But I do like these little like textures you get with how the watercolor dries on this specific paper. So that one was during the summer as well. And there's this one. And it kind of has, it's the same, the hot press watercolor paper, and I really liked how this one came out. I used, what are they called? Stabilo ink pens for her hair. And I think the watercolors for outlining her face and stuff. But there's that one. And these are all hot press watercolor paper. So these are all during the summer, and again inspired by plants and flowers. I think this is supposed to be a palm leaf. And then there's this one. We've got a few canna lilies at home, and they were flowering at this point, and I really loved how they looked, so I was inspired by that, and also long flowing hair. I think that's a reoccurring thing in my illustrations recently. So this one was really fun. I have the sketch version, I'll show you. And this one actually was I was kind of bummed out about the larger illustration, because I really liked how this one came out. I think I wanted her face to be as round as this one, and it's a little longer here, but I didn't transfer it, like I didn't like enlarge it and then transfer it onto here. I just drew it out here, so they are a little different. I like them each in their own way. Like I like the details here a lot more, but this one's a little looser and more, I think, more cohesive with everything. But sometimes that happens. Your sketch doesn't come out the way, or your final doesn't come out the way your sketch looks. And I made a couple of plant illustrations. This one's on hot press, and this one and the other ones I'm going to show you are on my Etsy shop. I'll link that in the description below as well. And then there's this cacti, and this is on cold press. You can see the texture, I think. Probably not. There's texture on this, so that's cold press. And first I laid down the color with my watercolors, and this one has colored pencil for the little needles. I don't know if you call them needles, but there's that one, and this one's also on my Etsy shop. And I don't think I posted this one, but it was inspired by, I think this was during the fall, so I wanted more like oranges and yellows. This was also inspired by Dia de los Muertos with the cempasúchil, those celebrations and festivities that go along with that day. Then I got into Inktober, and I'll only show you a few of those because then we'd be here all day. Let me know in the comments if you want to see all of them, and I'll upload them. So I was practicing with washes this year. Since I do watercolor, I don't know, I feel like it's a cop-out, but it did make me learn how to work with the gradients more, values, and I think that's very important. So when I work with color, I don't really work on that, and this helped me realize that I need to work on my values, focus on them when I'm drawing. So there's a few of those, and all of these were done on Bristol board. And the paper warped a little, but on some of them. So what I would do is I'd paint or draw, and then I'd wet the back and put books and stuff on top of them if they were very warped. And I labeled them like what day they were and the theme of it. I had a little list of it on my Instagram as well. You can see all of these if you're curious. And I really liked this one because I really want to get into making comics. I made comics when I was younger, a lot younger, and I really liked, I don't know, like making stories. So I really want to get into comics this year as well, but comics are a whole different ball game, I think. It's very fun. I really like it. So I'd like to do at least upload a complete comic this year. I have ideas, but they're very long stories, I think. So I think I might just make a mini comic and see where that takes me. And so the last drawing I did for Inktober was this one, but it wasn't part of the series. I just did this one, I think, for Halloween, and I just applied everything I had learned with my Inktober drawings into this one, and I liked how it came out. I had a lot of fun doing Inktober. And this is part of the plant series that's on sale on my Etsy, if y'all want to check it out. And these are banana leaves. I really liked using these colors. So this is a fiddle leaf fig. The stem should be in the middle. But this one's also available on my Etsy. And then I did a couple of studies from Pinterest. These are during the summer, so I'm stepping back again. I think this one's like that. So these were a couple of studies. I think they're all from Pinterest. And I just look up like flowers and plants, and the picture I liked, I'd paint. And working from painting, from photography and stuff is very helpful for your values and color studies. These, I painted a couple of them. I'm not sure where the other ones are. Oh, actually I gave them away. So this was a set of like 4 or 5. There was a tulip and a couple of other flowers. I'd combine pictures that I see on Pinterest and on the internet, and I'd make my own drawing. So I'd sketch out a couple of compositions, and the one I liked the most, I'd paint that one, and I'd reference colors from each of those pictures I'd chosen. So this is kind of like a collage of pictures I'd find. So there's this one. I'm not very good at realism, but I thought, let's give it a shot. I mean, I like doing it, but it doesn't look good. But I think with practice, everything is possible. And I'll show you a sketch. Like this one I worked on yesterday, and I thought it was so fun. Like, I don't like copying stuff, but just to learn, like for the techniques and the color usage, I think it's very important to copy. And I mean, for practice, because you get to work with colors and values that you thought you wouldn't work with originally, but you get to try different things. And I mean, I really enjoyed making this one. I love the colors. I don't know, you learn to use different colors that you probably wouldn't use if you were just working on your own stuff. So it's important to, I mean, copy, but to learn, not to, rip off other people and say it's your own. But that's a whole nother discussion that, could be a video of itself. Another Pinterest study. And then I did this one, I think, in the fall, and I wanted to work with this ink. So I outlined this girl with the ink, and then the rest is watercolor and a little bit of colored pencil. So kind of mixed media. I think I'll use this again, but since this is cold press, the texture, it's kind of hard to get a nice line, like thin lines. So I really need to practice with my, I think I used a brush for this one. It was kind of hard, it was challenging, but I'd like to work more with the ink. There's this one, and I've already signed it, and I plan on uploading this on my Etsy. And then this one, and I'll have a video of this one and I'll upload it to YouTube as well as speed paint. And that wraps it up for 2017. I've got a few other little thumbnails like this, or smaller, but I thought, you know, they're little sketches, so I didn't show them. So I just wanted to show you guys everything. I was just gonna show kind of finished pieces, but I thought, well, the whole year, you know, it's not just finished pieces you do, it's you practice and you do trial and error, and I wanted to show you guys kind of my process. I do sketchbook videos, and I did want to show you guys, but I haven't finished them. I like to finish them up and then show you guys. I've been kind of slow with my sketchbooks, I think. I was working on them until late summer, and then I think when Inktober took over, I stopped sketching from October out to December, so I barely started sketching again. So this month I think I'll get back into sketching. I think I'll do more videos. I really liked vlogging, so maybe I'll do a vlog, but not as often, maybe once a month. I feel a little more comfortable vlogging, but it's still a little weird, to be honest. So yeah, that was all most of my 2017 work, and I hope to have a lot more to show you guys this year, and I have a few projects in mind, so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.